I mean, it is the people that are responsible for the situation we face, but most of the people were lulled into it. Most of the people didn't realise what they were doing because, of course, we have a government-controlled education system as well, which does its best to ensure that people are kept in a very misinformed state. We also have our media organisations, which are also very, very proactive in ensuring that people never have access to the information that they need to in order to really gain a good understanding of what's going on in the world. The days of journalism have long since disappeared, and all modern media outlets serve to be are the propaganda arm of the government. It's very, very rare to find any real journalism anywhere in the mainstream, anywhere in the world anymore. Real investigative journalism truly does seem to be a relic from the distant past. It has been great to see the spate of internet news sites that have sprung up, and it is good that people are getting out there on the street and investigating things themselves and reporting what's going on around them on the internet, because it has been a real boon to human awareness to have people doing this. It's good as well that people are presenting solutions and positive steps that we can take to improve things for ourselves and improve the plight of humanity, steps we can take to hold our governments accountable. Don't forget to look at the trust law sections on the Crow House now. There is a new page called Lessons in Trust Law. You can go there and you can look at all of Dean Clifford's workshops. You can also speak to Dean on the forums. He's now a member of the Crow House forums, and there is a trust law board on the forums. So if you have any questions for Dean, you can probably go there and direct your questions at him. And I'm sorry, Dean, if that gets you too many emails, but well, that's just what happens when you step up onto the front line, brother. For those of you in Sydney as well, there is a film called 911 Explosive Evidence, The Experts Speak Out, and it's premiering in Sydney on Saturday, September 10th at 7 p.m. at Sydney Mechanics School of Arts, which is at 280 Pitt Street in Sydney CBD. I will be there for the premiere of the film and meeting a few people. So if you're in Sydney, please come along and say hello. It'll be a pleasure to meet you all. And it's always good to support these type of local events when they happen in your town, folks. So yes, if you happen to be in the area of 280 Pitt Street at 7 p.m. on Saturday night on the 5th of September, do pop in and say hi. Something else that is happening late in September on the 25th, I believe, is I'll be going to Uluru, the Rock in the centre of Australia, and staying there until the 29th. I have a message stick to deliver to the local lawwoman of the Aborigine people down there, and that's something else that I'm very much looking forward to, folks. So anybody who's out at the Rock between the 25th and the 29th, then I'll also look forward to seeing you. And I may even have a special guest with me on that visit, so that will also be something for you to look forward to. We are certainly facing some extremely challenging times ahead, folks, but no matter how polarized things may appear to be, all is certainly far from lost. I firmly believe that all of the negative situations that we are being presented with are all wonderful opportunities for the human race to wake up and realize who and what they are. And the more polarized things get, the more people will wake up. So don't lose heart and don't lose faith that things will change. I am absolutely convinced that positive change is coming. There are many reports about certain celestial events that we may be in store for and all sorts of things, folks. A lot of people ask me about them. A lot of people ask me about things like Comet Elenin. And all I can say is, I don't know. I haven't been to the future to find out. I haven't been up in space to investigate these things for myself. I do feel that there will be some major changes that come to the planet, but I also believe it's all about energy. And no matter what happens, the most important thing through all of it is to remain in the correct energetic state. Who knows, even if something as bizarre as a pole shift in the 3 days of darkness that many people seem to be predicting, that many of the ancients have also predicted, even if something like that comes to pass, folks, the most important thing through that will be to maintain your energy through the transitional period. You see, it's pointless asking me what is going to happen and what I think about certain celestial events that may be about to occur, because ultimately I cannot see the future, and the only information that I have access to regarding these events is information that you have access to. It's all just information that's out there for all of us to make of what we will. One thing I do know is that if the Earth is subject to geological changes caused by a celestial event, then it is something that is way out of my scope to be able to predict or to be able to remedy or change in any way. If a celestial event is to occur, then there is very little that I can do about it. And I trust in myself, and I trust in spirit, and I trust in source enough to have removed fear from my psyche and to be prepared for anything that may happen. And I believe that if I am supposed to survive such an event, that I will be in the right place at the right time in order to do so. And if I'm not, then that is how it is supposed to be, because I have absolutely no fear of death. All death means to me is the completion of my allotted time upon this earth, at which stage I will move on to the next thing. And that's not being fatalistic or anything, folks. I just find that many people have a very, very bizarre concept of death. Many people seem to go through their life fearing death, and yet death is the only thing in life that is actually inevitable. And so it seems to be pretty pointless to go through life in fear of that which is inevitable. And I don't do what I do out of fear. I don't speak out against the system or the encroaching police state or the destruction of Earth that we're seeing out of fear. I do it out of love, because I am concerned for the future that is being created for those who will come after me. I'm concerned for the future that's been created for my son and for his son, for all the children that I see around me, and for the people that I will leave behind when I leave this place. Because all of these people are me, and I love and feel concern for every single one of them. The Earth is in a pretty bad way, folks, and the human race is going down the tube right along with it. So it is time for us to act. It truly is time for us to take the matter in hand. And peaceful non-compliance, a united stand of compassion, this is the only way that we will ever succeed in bringing about positive change. Much of the human psyche is very polarized, and if we attack the establishment with rocks and weapons and violence, then all it will do is attack us back. And that is the language of the system. Violence is the language of the matrix, and we will never succeed in freeing ourselves from the matrix by using violence to do so. Because it's not about violence. We don't need to hurt anybody. We don't need to smash anything or break anything. All we need to do is change what's in our hearts, and to invite everybody else to come with us, to invite everybody home. Give our leaders the opportunity to come home with us, to come back to the earth, to come back to country, to stand there on the ground and to feel the energy of this wonderful planet that we live on, and to feel the energy of each other. To understand how quickly we could bring about positive change on this planet, and how beneficial it could be for all life upon the planet if we were simply allowed to do so. If we were simply allowed to reach the potential that we are capable of reaching. If we were simply allowed to be human beings. Because I believe human beings are naturally compassionate and caring creatures. And I don't think that any of this would have happened the way it has if the people of the world had simply been left to their own devices and had been allowed to emotionally mature. I think the fact that our history has been hidden from us and the fact that our societies have trained us to be sociopaths is a huge part of the problem. But I think it can all be remedied, folks. I think it all will be remedied, and I think the time has come for us to do so. Well, that's it for the show today, folks. I would like to thank everybody for your continued support of thecrowhouse.com. Thank you to anybody who's ever made a donation to the website. It is the only thing that keeps the site going, so I thank you very much for that. And thank you for anybody who has showed support for the trust law workshops that I'm attempting to put together to take around the country. And just thank you for taking the time to listen to these broadcasts. It's been a pleasure speaking to you again today. I'll look forward to speaking to you again next week. Please take care until then. In Lakesh.